Hi, I'm Emma and I'm the Body Love Coach, and I'm really passionate about helping women learn to love their bodies the way they are rather than, hating their bodies and treating their bodies from that place of hate. So I help women with their self-care, with their movement practices, with yoga, meditation, and I've actually created the Body Love method because it just gives women sometimes a framework of all the different things that they can try to really look after themselves with love. So that's what I love to do. So what I've found is a lot of people expect a personal trainer, which is what I am, or a health coach, which is what I am, to sort of present them with a diet plan or an exercise plan that they have to follow to get a certain result. And I sort of believe that we are all designed to be healthy in our own special way. Everyone's body is different. And so one diet, one exercise program is not going to suit everybody. And in fact, not everybody needs a diet or an exercise program. It's more about just learning that their body is beautiful the way it is and loving it and trusting that it's going to look after you the way it needs to. So it's more about allowing good health rather than trying to chase it down and achieve good health. It's more about being gentle and loving and kind. So my history is having had a long period of my life where I was really out of love with my body for a number of different reasons. So I remember from a very young age being laughingly told by my dad, "Do you have a watermelon under there?" referring to my belly. So I was always kind of a bit kind of conscious about the fact that I had a nice round belly. And later on doing ballet classes and other people giving me advice to kind of suck my tummy in if I had my photo taken, I was always obsessed about the size of my belly. And then in my 30s, I actually was diagnosed with endometriosis, which meant I actually really did have a problem with the area in my belly. And that actually changed my life quite considerably because I was very, very unwell for a really long time. And I realized that the lifestyle that I was living was not supporting me because I was just constantly stressed and constantly unwell. And I decided to leave Sydney, where I used to live, and moved here to Albany to create this coaching business. But when I first became a coach, I was still obsessed with helping women lose weight because I still wanted to have the perfect six pack, and I thought everyone else wanted that too. Until I finally had a hysterectomy for my endometriosis. And while I was in hospital, I actually almost had this divine message come to me, and I was told, "Emma, you've punished your body enough. It's time to really love your body." And that went straight into my heart, and I really took that on board and decided to really look after myself from a place of love. But I was still treating my clients the way I used to. A lot of the clients coming to me were still after weight loss, and I was still kind of in that old paradigm when I was talking to clients. And then I had a business coach speak to me, and she was giving me some advice on a website that I'd put together, and she was looking at the photos, and she said, "Oh, that photo there, it's got a lot of tummy." And I was kind of like, "Oh my God, here's that tummy thing again." And then she said another photo, "Oh, that looks like a before photo, as in before and after photos." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then another photo, she said, "I love this photo. It looks fantastic." And that was a 2-year-old photo, which was well before I'd had my hysterectomy, completely different time in my life. And for about a week, I cried like on and off. I was really, really affected by it. And at first I thought I was hurt, but by the end of the week, I realized the tears were actually about the understanding that I didn't talk about my body like that anymore. I used to, but I was really understanding that I'd actually fallen in love with my body. And it was in that moment that I realized I needed to help other women feel that way about their bodies as well, because I think women are so programmed to be dissatisfied with all of this that we spend so much time thinking about it and worrying about it and holding ourselves back and spending money on it. And it really stops women from living a life full of purpose. And so I spent about 2 months thinking about what have I done for myself to love myself. I didn't think that would ever happen. And that's where I came up with the body love method. These were all the things that I had done for me to make me love my body. And believe me, if I can love my body, anyone can really love theirs. It's just a matter of making that decision that you want to and then doing the work to get there. And so I started to share the body love method with some clients that I'd known for a while and realized they were getting those sort of results too. And that's when I decided I needed to start spreading the message and, you know, talking about body positivity, talking about body love in a general term. And that's all I talk about now. And I'm even so passionate about this that I realize I can't do this on my own. I really need support and I need help to create a ripple effect. We need the whole world to understand that women's bodies being perfect is not going to make the world a better place. And in fact, it really distracts us from the things that are really important. So, you know, I'm creating at the moment what I'm calling the Body Love Academy, and part of my mission now will be helping other women learn the body love method, learn how to create their own businesses so that they can spread the message from their own perspective, what's happened in their life, how they've overcome their own body image issues, and then they can spread the same message. And then one day, hopefully, you never know, but hopefully we're not worried about this stuff anymore. I'd love to put myself out of business in a way, because I'd love it to be that we don't care about the way we look, we care about the lives that we're living and the messages that we're spreading and the way we feel in the world. So I've broken the body love method down into 3 main stages. And so the first method is about really engaging in the process and releasing past programming. So engaging really is just a matter of saying, yes, I want to feel good about my body. I want to treat my body with love and respect, and making that decision. But it's also, we need to release all this old programming that we've got. We've been, you know, kind of brainwashed by a multi-billion-dollar industry, which is the weight loss industry. So we need to sort of release some of those old thought patterns and become really forgiving about those patterns and where we've come from. So the first part of the body love method is that. And then the second part of the body love method is really about supporting ourselves with practices and learning new ways of thinking about our bodies, and even things we've heard about before. We all know about meditation, but how can you make meditation work for you? Why is meditation important, for instance? And so this is really about, you know, thinking about outside the box. How can I treat my body differently outside of that diet and punishing exercise regime, and think about, you know, other supporting methods that you can use. And then the final part of the body love method is really about when we do love our bodies, and how do we treat our bodies with loving kindness. So we do need to eat well to have a functioning body that, you know, functions so we can do all the things we love. That's really, really important. But, you know, how do we get outside of the mindset of being on a diet and thinking about just nourishing our bodies generally? Same with moving the body. So this last section is about how do we do the things on a day-to-day basis from a really beautiful, loving place, rather than from that old paradigm of diet and punishment. And then what I love about the body love method in particular is that it's learnable and it's reusable. So every time you hit another wall or see another picture in a magazine that makes you feel bad, you can jump back into the method and use it over and over again. And I want to be able to empower women to look after themselves. I don't want to be someone that they have to keep coming to see for the rest of their lives. I want to give them what they need so they can take that on board and use it on over and over and over again. So I work with women who usually sort of 35 plus, but, you know, any age is fine. But normally these women have either gone and done the diet and exercise thing and just felt really uncomfortable in being pressured into doing things that they didn't like to do, or eating foods they didn't enjoy. And they might have gotten results from that in the past, but then gone back to the way they were. So women who've tried the diet and exercise, you know, routine and haven't enjoyed it. And there's also women out there that have always been scared of personal trainers and scared of fitness because they feel like they're never going to be able to do it. So I love to like gently hold these women's hand and say, like, you don't have to do hardcore exercise to be healthy. You can just gently move your body. So I love working with those women that feel like it's scary, because I like to help them understand that it doesn't need to be. So they're probably mostly the sort of women that I love to work with. So I have a 12-week VIP program that I run, which I use the Body Love method with. And so it goes for 12 weeks. It's one-on-one, and it's very, very nurturing, where I get to understand you, how you work, what your lifestyle looks like, and really help you to find a way to fit in a few new practices that's going to make you feel really great. So some women come to me for the 12-week program, and then I wish them on their way and they live a happy, merry life. But then I have other women that have come to my classes for years and years and years. And, you know, a Tuesday and Thursday, they've got that time blocked out every week, and they come to classes over and over and over again. So some women love that weekly or regular accountability, and some women just want to learn what they need to learn and then go on. So, you know, lots of different ways that we can work together. So I live in Albany, Western Australia, and I made a conscious decision to move here because, in my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. But I realise not everyone can come to Albany to work with me in person, face to face. But what I love about the internet is that everything I do is actually possible over the internet as well. So I have a regular client that every Monday we dial into Zoom and we do a personal training session every single Monday. I also do from time to time online yoga classes, so that's absolutely possible if you don't live in Albany. And also I have my Facebook group, which is called the Body Love Collective, and there are women from all over the world there, and I'm in there every day offering advice and tips and support. So we can connect over the internet and do everything that I do face to face. So that's what I love about being on this online world. It's very it can really create community and create connection, which is great. I guess part of my mission as well is not just what's happening now. I really worry about the future, because especially with things like social media, I mean, I know women won't come to yoga classes because they're worried that the pictures they've seen on social media are these perfect, skinny, you know, bendy women that do yoga, so they don't try it themselves. And I get really worried about the future and the kids that are growing up now and the future generations with all these pictures of perfection, how damaging that can be. And I worry that kids that are growing up won't put themselves out there because they'll feel like they're not perfect and that they're not good enough just because of the way they look. And so that's another really important thing for me, is to help us as the adults now create a world where we can let the kids know the way you look doesn't really matter. It's more about what's happening in your heart, what's happening in your mind, and, you know, your gifts are much more than the way you look. And so it's more than what's happening right now. It's like what's going to happen in the future, and that's why the ripple effect is so important to me.